As usual, we start with if you are all getting that video link from the Google group. Okay, cool. And if you're not, then let me know. Also, I've just added this, and I will add it to every session that you are students of a college, so you can get the certification in $85. I think most of you know that already, but it's a $150 certification. Every Microsoft certification is like that, but for college students, it's $85. So as long as you have your email working for the college at George Brown, you can have this in $85. Try to give as many certifications as possible because you need to get interview calls, and recruiters want to see if you're certified. Recruiters are, non-technical people, and you're applying for a technical field, IT. So sometimes they're saying, "Oh, do you know Windows?" It's like, "Do you have experience on Windows technology?" And the jobs they are like 50 per hour, 40 per hour from very good companies. So you really have to. It's kind of a strange situation in Canada, or maybe in US as well. So try to do as much certifications, and if you need help in the material or getting certified, let me know, right, as always. But you have this $85 opportunity as long as you have the working email of a college. Once you lose it, then you have to pay $150 for any certification, right? Okay, so this is just a quick one that if you're aiming for a system administration job, 40 per hour, 30 per hour, 50 per hour. So these are the certifications I'm recommending, and so many students elsewhere are doing these certifications. You have mostly completed this Exchange Server course, right? So you should give that certification in $85. And SharePoint, whatever we have done, but you can still give certification for that. And why I'm pushing for certification? Because your jobs, require that. And then SQL Server, once it's done, let me know the material you need for certification. VMware, you may have done already, VMware 5. Latest version is 6, and you should be VCP, VMware Certified Professionals. So try to do this certification. It's the tough one. I think the toughest one, VCP. And if you are VCP, like other thousands of people, or hundreds of people, I can say, so you'll be, on the edge for, at least you will have good opportunity awaiting for you among other hundreds of VCPs. Cisco CCNA, ITIL is a must. So it's how to run IT department and how everything is organized. So this is a certification also must in the industry. So you should, when you finish your semester and you're looking for jobs and you're expecting the recruiters to call you, they will be expecting your resume to be full of certifications. And somehow it's working for everyone else. If you're not certified, you will have a rude awakening. There will be a wake-up call. Oh, everyone's getting that job, and I'm not getting. Why? Anyway, this is just another suggestion that go for it. And you need help, let me know. Okay, so administrating Microsoft Server, we were doing that. We have already installed SQL Server. We have discussed some of the installation options during the installation, before the installation, the planning, and after the installation. We created a database. We tried to look about which files are created when you create a database. There's .mdf master database file, then there's .ndf, and then there's .ldf for logs. But we're gonna try to see more detail of those settings, and furthermore, we're going to be doing from command prompt today that installation which we were doing in graphical interface. So it's going to be a little tricky, but if you are able to do it with me, that's a wow. So what we did last time, talked about all the components during installation. We're going to be repeating some of those, the important ones. Created a database from GUI. So we're going to create from the SQL query statements, and also we're going to be doing the command prompt installation. So for now, our lab setup is this: SQL DC, SQL MEM01. Today we will need SQL MEM02 as well. This means one more clone. So are you able to create a clone from your template machines are intact, right? And never started, right? I didn't hear any alarm, so yeah, never. So we would need one more, so SQL MEM02, and there we're going to be installing our SQL Server. This is an exam objective as well, to install from command prompt and with configuration file, but we get to learn a lot from that procedure, how we can create we can install the whole thing without touching any other option other than starting the installation. After start of installation, it's zero touch. It's going to install the whole thing itself, and the answer file we're going to be providing, there will be a configuration file that already knows the answers which we are supposed to give during the installation. So it will be a zero touch installation, but once we have to go through that effort of configuring that zero touch installation, so there will be a lot of manual work before that. But once the whole thing is set up, you will understand that okay, now maybe in a large company, there are many examples where the boss says, okay, install SQL Server for this department, install SQL Server for that team, install SQL Server. So many times, if we have to deploy a lot of time, we have to come up one time for the zero touch installation. And once you have set up this thing, whenever the boss says, okay, go ahead, okay, if that's all the solution, if these are all the choices, these are all the features you want, I already have a setup here, and you just go there, put the files in proper place and double click, and that's it. It's going to do its work, and when it's done, you just come back after 45 minutes and then do something else and come back, and it's going to be installed the same way, exactly the way we installed on day 2. Second day we installed the SQL Server, so it will be very easy for us to later install that. So these kind of automated solutions are always welcome by the higher management. So we should know what is that command prompt installation with configuration file. So today's lessons. The topics are configuring an operating system disk, installing the SQL Server database engine, installing SQL Server 2012 from the command prompt, installing SQL Server integration services, although it's just an installation, but later we're going to be doing some in-depth labs on that and trying to understand that too. Enabling and disabling features, we're still trying to get familiar with our post-installation tasks. Installing SQL Server 2012 by using a configuration file. This is what we're going to be. This is going to take a bit longer time. And testing connectivity. We already tested once, but and some other smaller tasks like we're going to be trying to create a database from the SQL statements, as well as use some more commands in that and try to know the syntax of that. So this is some of the topics. These are some of the topics we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead. So configuring operating system disk. So when you as a system administrator are told to install SQL Server, you have to think of the hardware first, right? So when you're thinking about or planning about hardware, there are many things that you need to consider. First of all, the security of the disks. the hard disks on which you're going to be installing SQL Server should remain intact all the time, or the infrastructure or the number of hard disks you're installing SQL Server on, suppose you lose one hard disk, and it's going to happen. I mean, even if you get a new system after 3 or 4 years, because servers are running 24/7, they're supposed to run 24/7, right? So you might start losing disks one by one after 3 years, 4 years. Maybe it's a large company and the disks are being used a lot, so sometimes they do break. There are mechanisms for high availability of software that has been installed, operating system installed on those hard disks. So anyone heard about RAID1? Although I am showing there, it's written there, disk mirroring. Mirror, from the sound of it, you would get it. Okay, so there's a disk that's trying to copy everything what's happening on the first disk on the other disk, right? So RAID1 is very commonly deployed in all the servers for Exchange Server, whether you're installing Exchange Server, whether you're installing VMware, whether you're installing SharePoint or any kind of server, SQL Server. RAID1, RAID 5, RAID 10, these are some of the technologies or features that are available. There's a hardware RAID and there's a software RAID. So first of all, anyone knows what does RAID do, or anyone already has experience in configuring RAID? Yep.
Hardware allow it to either be redundant or rapid, where it utilizes both for either, well, not both.
Okay.
It utilizes the drives to get more functionality.
Okay. And the main purpose of RAID is RAID1 is
Redundancy.
redundancy. Okay. So if we lose one drive, where our whatever we installed, either the application or the operating system, it's going to stay intact. It's going to keep on working, and until you run and just replace that drive, faulty drive with the new drive, and then it's going to resync that. So we should make sure that all service packs are installed for OS. Okay, first of all, make sure that RAID 1 or RAID 5 is configured. We're going to talk about RAID. So we can use EFS as well, which is encryption file system. You can encrypt files or folders on any of your drives as long as they are NTFS file system. And then there's BitLocker. Anyone knows what BitLocker is for? It locks the bits. No, just kidding. Yeah. BitLocker. So EFS is encryption file system that encrypts files and folders. BitLocker encrypts the whole hard disk, the whole thing. So they both do the same thing. The only thing is the scope. BitLocker encrypts the whole disk or USB stick. EFS encrypts one file, one folder, multiple files, multiple folders. So this is something, this is basic for all the servers, all the roles when you're deploying anything. So there's a hardware RAID, there's a software RAID. What I'm planning to do today is to add another server first. So please create or clone another server, which will be SQL 02. So if I go back to my environment here, I have okay, these were the test machines. This is my SQL DC, SQL MAM01. We have reached here till now. So I'm just gonna quickly add or clone another server here. While we're cloning, we're gonna talk about other topics as well. But main purpose, so let me draw that. What's the plan? There are 2 or 3 topics I need to cover in one lab. So we already have DC. We already have SQL Server. Now when we're adding a third server here, So this is our SQL DC. This is our SQL mem or member server 01. This is our SQL mem 02. So on 02, I plan to add 2 disks, create RAID1. This is called software RAID. The purpose to make it clear how RAID works, and it's so crucial that you will have to, if you're joining any company as a system administrator, you have to know what is RAID and how to configure that. But this is a software RAID. You will be configuring the hardware RAID when you get a new server, Dell, HP. So there's a DVD that comes with it, and when you boot from that DVD, it asks you, okay, you want to configure RAID1, you want to configure RAID1 with 2 disks, you want to configure RAID5 with 3 to 32 disks, you want to configure RAID10, which is a pair of 2 disks. So create RAID1. We're going to discuss a little more. I'll be then I will be install SQL Server from excuse me, command prompt with 0 touch. The specialty, once you double click that, it should successfully install without further configuration, right? So we're going to understand how we're able to do that. We'll be able to do that. So 0 touch. Install SQL Server from command prompt with 0 touch. So we're going to try to know what's RAID, and over that RAID, which will be on 2 disks, we'll configure, and then we're going to be installing with 0 touch. So this is all once we get to know the mechanism, it will be available whenever we want to deploy SQL Server without waiting for the next window to stop on us and waiting for our clicks or inputs. It's just going to install with no further configuration from our side. And then we go for other topics. But this is something we need to start doing. So guys, one more clone. So template machine, right click, manage. Let me just start that. I should not have that donut. Oh, okay, anyway. So okay, so SQL DC, SQL mem01. I'm just gonna quickly in the background, I'm gonna just start this clone, and then we're gonna talk about different topics. I hope you haven't or never started this template which you have there. If you accidentally started that template, try not to clone with that, because it's never going to join your domain, right? Because the SID will be the same, and your domain controller will detect that, and make sure that you never accidentally started it. Otherwise, now it's not going to join your domain at all. Okay, so create a full clone. We know how to create a clone, so I'm just gonna go a little quick here. SQL mem02. Okay, mem02, because we already have SQL DC, SQL mem01. So I'm just creating SQL mem02. So okay, RAID1 requires minimum and maximum 2 disks. Half of the capacity is used. So if both disks are 1 terabyte, a total of still 1 terabyte is available to be used, and the other 1 terabyte is actually saving all the data. So when one of the hard disks crashes, the other hard disk still keeps that operating system or application, whatever you installed on that disk, that one volume, it stays intact. You just go and replace the disk with a faulty one. So RAID1 minimum maximum of 2 disks, right? And so and then there's RAID5. Anyone knows? Okay, it's the abbreviation of RAID, or anyone has quick access to Google? Oh, okay. So redundant array of inexpensive disk or independent disks, right? But in interviews, yes, abbreviation is good, but they say, hey, what's the purpose? So give us the purpose of that, because you're going to be configuring RAID anyway. Either hardware, no, it will be hardware. Software, I'm just showing it here because it's one thing, it's an exam objective for SQL Server. Second thing, you should know, and it's going to be quick. Doesn't take that much time. So RAID5, minimum 3, max it could go to 32 or more disks. Okay, this is done, so I'm just gonna put it in my SQL folder, and SQL mem02 is, I'm just starting that. So anyone else cloning? Okay, cool. Cloning, right? Okay, so let me just shut down the other ones, the test machines. So I have a test environment here, SQL test machines 3, and SQL 2012, 3, which we are doing together, and 3 test machines here. So if you have a powerful laptop or desktop at home, or so you can just have those 2 or 3 environments. And I would recommend, if IT is your career, if it's your field, go for the best hardware once, go for the best laptop, and take it in installments. I did it that way. It costed me a lot, more than 3,000, but in installments it didn't hurt that much. So but it's really doing wonders. You can see I have Citrix environment here, VMware environment, Exchange environment here. All the machines are there. Whenever I want to start and experiment, I can do that, right? So as long as you have a processor i7 quad core, RAM 16 GB, and 500 GB minimum SSD drive. If these 3 things are there, the rest don't matter, right? Okay, you need a screen. Just kidding. Okay, so SQL mem02 next, and I think it's everyone's last semester. Everyone's, right? Oh, you guys must be rich, right? No certifications. I mean, after that you plan to look for jobs, right? Or already dad is sending a lot of money or giving a lot of money or huge bank balance, right? If that is not the case, then let me know. Job hunting, I think I sent you the link, right?
Yeah.
Everyone got that link. So you went through that, right? That who is going to give you the job information, or who will get you to the interview table. But will they get you to the interview table? That's the question. Are you having those, qualifications to be chosen? So you need to get certified. So I'm going to send you certification resources as well. Try to do it and let me know if you really are, not worried about really worried about the job actually. Right now it looks like, hey, it's okay. Rich people, we don't care. If it's after 6 months you're looking for a job, then it's not that nice environment out there. Why I'm saying that again and again? Because I'm teaching elsewhere as well, in other academies as well. Those people are focused, doing certifications. It looks like they are really worried about the job. Here, okay, yeah, I know you're serious, but you need to do more if it's 6 months left, So I'll send you some more resources. Let me know if you need any help. Okay. But you need to do more and more hands-on and do as much certification as possible. If you're really willing, let me know. Okay, so SQL DC, I'm just going to log in now. And so the more screenshots you create, there are 3 or 4 screenshots also coming to me, which is okay. I mean, it's good to have a proof that you did it, so I could mark you. But if you're creating more screenshots, that is good for you. I mean, I already have those screenshots from hundreds of other students. If you create screenshot for every step, that's going to be very good for you. I've been getting that feedback from other students who are now doing jobs. They're saying that those very screenshots really help them configure a lot of things. Okay, anyway, so third server here, I'm just going to quickly give. So I'm just going to rename, give the static IP, then I'm going to add 2 disks to that server, so to make RAID1. Then we're going to configure the SQL Server with command prompt and zero touch installation. So I'm just going to quickly rename it to next sequentially available naming, so SQL mem 02. Yeah. So while this is going on, update tools, this is going to just install the tools and the, okay, there you go, VMware tools, all the important things, complete. So I'm just doing it quickly because we've gone through this. And this static IP, uncheck v6. Let me know if I'm going fast. Yes, you are going very fast. Oh, sorry. Hey, that was also me. So, 3. Come on, everyone's so quiet, so it's boring to death. It's you're right, and it's minus 22. For God's sake, give me a break. So, okay, so it's 200.1. I would go for DNS and see if how many IP addresses have already been given. So today we have a lot of time, and even after our 4 hours, you have still 1 extra hour to do the labs. So, we can do all the labs today, till today, if you were missing all the labs. So 200.2, and so I'm just gonna go for 200.3 here. For the third server, press tab, and default gateway 192.168, 200.50 is our gateway, and 192.168, 200.1 for our DNS. Okay, we are nearly ready. So just gonna, okay, so renamed and VMware tools, and third thing is, oh, I need to activate it as well, which requires a second network card. So 4 things I'm doing simultaneously: installing VMware tools, renaming it, giving static IP, and adding the network card. I think we did it so many times that you don't need me to slow down. So add network adapter, VMnet 8. Okay, since I'm here, so there are 5th thing I'm going to do. So let me just write it down here. Rename static IP, another NIC, another disk. This is extra what we're doing. Another hard disk. We need to add that. I'm going to add that now, because we need to do RAID1. And VMware tools. Okay, the list is increasing. Activation, but I won't be worrying about it today. Activation. So these 6 things for the new machine. The only extra thing is another hard disk, right? So how many are cloning? Too many? Okay. All right, cool. Okay. Sorry? Oh, we have 5 hours. Yeah, you're right, actually. So Yeah, but today it's a good opportunity to reach till today all the labs, you know, for everyone. And I'll help you. You have already YouTube videos, but today will be quite tricky. So let's. If you are doing it with me, that's cool. Otherwise, I'll be helping you after that. Yeah. Inside the VMware, yeah.
So it's going to look like hardware.
Exactly. It's going to look like. And our concepts of RAID will be clear. The thing is, Microsoft RAID, I should pause that. Microsoft RAID sucks. The thing is, it's so slow. It's a software RAID. It's so slow. But you're gonna see how RAID is created, and then I'll crash one hard disk, and then I'll add another hard disk. So the full RAID will be tested. While we will have, after we install the SQL Server, we're gonna just crash one hard disk, right? Remove or delete. Yeah. Oh. So you guys still can't have VMware tools, right? Cannot? No? No, but you can still add a second hard disk, right? Yeah. Oh, seriously? The second network card. And same case with second hard disk as well. Okay, let's try to follow and let me know where the error comes and where's the dead end. And then we all go to Cyrus and request. Okay, so yeah, so these six things I'm doing here for the third machine. Since I already added a second network card, I'm going to add a second disk now to do the RAID. I'm still in the settings of the machine, or I'll just press OK. Network card is adding. As soon as it's added, and second network card, just two network cards, and I'm right clicking now for the second disk as well. So again, to the settings of the machine, click add. Okay, this is a internet network card, but anyway, click add, and it's on the hard disk anyway. We're not selecting anything extra, all the default options to add a hard disk. So it's next, yes, SCSI we need, next, create a new virtual disk, next, 60 gigs, which is okay, next, this is the name of the second hard disk, and finish. So I did not change anything, I just added the second hard disk. Let me know if you're stuck with any of the, those restrictions. So second network card added, and before restart I want to make sure that it is activated. So 180 days are not showing here, so I'm just gonna quickly, the day one thing, Windows update, keep it for 1 or 2 minutes, and it better give me the activation as well. Then once I restart, that's it. So with the two hard disks, if everyone is able to add the second hard disk, it's okay. Although it has nothing to do with VMware tools, but I guess you'll be able to do that. I mean, yeah. So I'm just gonna minimize that and refresh the desktop. I hope it, okay, there you go. So 180 days is there, so final restart, well, it's first restart, then I'm going to join it the domain, and second restart will happen. So once the restart is done, I would try to make that RAID1 we can do this RAID from within Microsoft operating system, although hardware RAID is always, of course, done with the booting from the DVD of that vendor, Dell, HP, IBM. But when you do the RAID1, when you configure, it's exactly the same we're doing it now. So I have restarted my machine, and I need to know if I have 2 disks available. So I can go to File and Storage Services. There are 2 ways I can know that: the old way and the new way, the Windows 2008 way of doing things and Windows 2012 way of doing things. Tools, Computer Management. If I go there, there's Disk Management inside there. This is the 2008 way of doing things, like configuring the disk, trying to know about the disk management. So if you have 2008 anywhere, you would see that the disk is showing here in the disk management. After you go to computer management, the other way is, okay, this if anyone is trying to reach there, I can stop now and wait for anyone's there following, or since it's recording, and I can publish the recording sooner and we can do it today, this lab as well. Okay, so let's try to understand as well disk management. There's that, the blue disks means it's working fine. The black disks mean that it is just newly added, and when we right click, we have to click it online first. Then again we have to right click and initialize the disk. The 2 right clicks we have to do to configure the disk. So it's going to ask it's MBR, master boot record, or GPT. This is just for the file system, which one do you want. GPT supports bigger partitions, larger disks. MBR is supporting lesser partitions, smaller disks. So pressing OK now. You can see here the option coming, which is not right now it's not enabled, activated. It's grayed out, RAID 5, new mirrored volume, new RAID 5 volume, right? So this can only be done if the hard disk is not formatted. So this means our C drive cannot take part, and if you wanted C drive on which our operating system is, if you wanted that drive to be in RAID 1 or RAID 5 configuration, then you have to go for hardware RAID, where before the installation of operating system you have to configure the RAID. But we have to install the operating system first, and VMware Workstation doesn't give us the hardware RAID facility. Maybe ESXi gives that, but not VMware Workstation. So I'm going to add a 3rd disk now. Why? First, my plan was this. Let me just show you. The plan was that there already is a C drive. Just add another disk and then make a RAID 1 out of these 2 disks. And above this will be 1 C drive. But below the C drive will be 2 hard disks. Even if we crash 1 hard disk, whatever we install above that will stay intact as long as 1 hard disk is there, right? But right now, if I just showed you that if I right click here like this, they're not activated. So I cannot click there. I can click on new simple volume, which is not redundant. I need to have another disk which is not formatted, which shows here like this, unallocated. Then it will activate. It is looking for, so mirroring requires minimum of 2 hard disks to activate. RAID 5 requires minimum 3 hard disks to activate. So if it is 1 hard disk that is unformatted, it's not going to activate. So I'm just going to quickly add another hard disk, and you will see right away that it's going to get activated, mirroring. So this means what? We have our operating system on, so let me just close it. We have our operating system on this C drive. This is not going to take part in the RAID. So we will have to have another hard disk, and we're going to make a RAID on these 2 hard disks. We're gonna call it E drive, and on these 2 disks we're going to install the SQL Server. with zero touch installation. And then we're going to later crash one of the hard disk, and SQL Server better be working fine. And it will, you'll see. So SQL Server will be totally on E drive. Yep.
For the second disk you created so far, you just initialized it and connected it.
So right click online, right click initialize, that's it. Do not format that, yeah. So if you format, we cannot create a RAID on that. And C drive is already there. So third disk, I'm just gonna add an extra disk. So I have added already one disk. I'm going to be adding another disk now. Sorry, that's a change of plan. So on the third system, I'm just gonna add another disk. Since I'm not changing anything, I'm gonna go quickly here. As soon as I click add, it's selected on the hard disk. Next, 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 next. Okay, now I have two disks with 60 gigs, while my basic disk is on which there's operating system, it's 100 gigs. So 60 gigs, two drives are there. Now you can see the second drive which has unallocated space as well. Now as soon as I online and initialize this, online, right click initialize. Press OK for MBR. Now you can see mirror is activated. It was grayed out before, now it's activated. So we can mirror these two drives. The drive ladder which it will get is E drive, because that's the next available sequentially available drive ladder. On this E drive, we're going to be deploying SQL Server, the whole thing. We're not going to deploy on C drive, but on E drive, which is RAID1. And once it is installed, then we're going to crash just to check if RAID1 really, works, and it will work when we crash it. We're just going to delete one disk from below our SQL Server installation. Okay, so if you got this, we have two drives with unallocated space. I have right clicked here and it's mirrored volume. So two drives with unallocated space, mirrored volume. When I go for new mirrored volume, now there's a wizard, it will start, and it's just going to create that RAID1. But the thing is that we need to understand how we have created it and how it's going to work, and it really is redundant or not. So next, it's just going to ask, hey, I need at least two disks, so could you please add? So I'm just going to add the second disk here. It got that, but both disks, each disk is 60 gigs, so it should be 120 gigs total, right? But RAID1 always uses half the capacity of the total. So it still says it's 60 gigs while it has two 60 gigs drives, right? So next, the next sequentially available drive ladder is E. Next, NTFS volume, definitely we need that. And I'm just going to label this as RAID1. And I'm going to be deploying SQL on that. Perform a quick format, yeah, go ahead with that. So selecting perform a quick format here, volume label is RAID1. Next, finish. The operation selected will convert the selected basic disk to a dynamic disk. If you convert the dynamic disk, you will not be able to start installed operating systems from any volume. So if there was operating system on these disks, which is not there, so it will not start. Okay, they're formatting and done. So there are, in a job environment, you would see two physical disks. These are representing those two physical disks in a server, right? But this is the only E drive. The volume above them is just one volume. This is the one, 59 gigs or 60 gigs. This is RAID1. And this is the drive, right? So test folder, just creating there. So this is one drive on which we're going to install SQL Server now with the command prompt and zero touch, and we're going to understand the SQL Server installation and how we are able to make it zero touch installation. So everyone was able to create a RAID? Okay, cool. Anyone else? 2? 3. Okay. Okay, the right side is quite active. Hello, left side. Anyone created RAID? Oh, okay. Hey, today we have enough time, so I'll be able to help you guys, right? So it's mucho importante, right? Okay, it's wrong Spanish, I know. It's muy importante, but it's like, you know, when I say it's really, it's mucho importante. Now that's the fun thing, right? Otherwise, you know, the way I say it, it is mucho importante. Okay. Okay, now I think there are people sitting in the class. I heard a laughter. Whoa, after 9 or 10 days. Woo. Okay, so team left. Have you left this class? There used to be 1 or 2 guys used to be with me always. Now today, team left is simply left the lab. Team right is quite right. Come on, be the right team. Or okay, so it's a competition between these 2 guys. Anyway, maybe you're just way behind, but you can create a new clone, name it SQL MEM02, and try to understand what we're doing. And I'm going to be asking from every one of you here, what is RAID1? What is the concept of RAID1? Because we are trying to prove here by doing it, right? So, okay, so test folder created here. RAID1 is created. Now let's go for the SQL Server installation, right? But this is going to be the zero touch. So how are we able to do that? So I'm going. So till now, what has been done? We have added 2 disks. We have created a RAID on these 2 disks, and the name of the volume label here is E drive. We're going to be adding or installing SQL Server here. So how are we able to install SQL Server here with zero touch installation? So remember, on SQL MEM01 we installed successfully SQL Server. So SQL Server is already there, right? This means there's a file inside called Configurationfile.ini. There's a file which recorded all the answers, or it recorded all the input we gave during our previous successful installation. So let me just show you that file. So I'm going to my SQL MEM01. We already have a successful installation here. I think everyone has it, right? Or everyone? Yeah, because you sent me the screenshot, so you have it, right? And so everyone has the screenshots. Oh, okay, slip of tongue. Everyone has the installation. So it should, if you have the successful installation, are you able to open the SQL Server Management Studio now? Okay. And are you able to, if you see this screen, just keep going, click connect. And are you able to see these databases? Everyone? Okay. Everyone here also able to see the databases, right? We created that day. You also did that, right? You sent me a screenshot. Okay, let's go. You also did that? Come on, what are you doing? Come on, man. Everyone, it is again mucho importante to do all that. Okay, so there's one. So if this is successful installation, we have a file called Configurationfile.ini, and let's go trace that file, because that file recorded all our input which was involved in the complete installation of this SQL Server. So whatever we selected there for the installation, that file must be inside the C drive. So let's go to the SQL MEM01's C drive and then program files. So C drive, program files, SQL Server. When we reach inside the SQL Server, there is a folder called 80, 90, 100, 110. So this 110 is actually 11, version 11. Version 11 is actually SQL Server 2012. Version 10, which is actually 100, but it is version 10, was the previous SQL Server version. And version 90 is the previouser and the previousest. Okay, that's wrong English, but previous versions are there. Why are those folders of previous versions, 2007, 2005 are there? Because of backward compatibility, right? So we're going for version 11, which is our version right now. Double click that. Then there is setup bootstrap. This is the folder, setup bootstrap. I think I should go for magnifying glass. All right, this looks better. Okay, so logs. So this is the path you're already watching here. SQL Server version 11, setup bootstrap, log file. Okay, after log file, it's going to have one of the folder will have the Configurationfile.ini. ini means initialization. So one of the folders. So I'll double click this one, the last one. I'll just look at the date. It's or the time. Dates are the same. 15/1. That was the last time we installed, and 1:26 and 1:25 p.m. are the times. But anyway, which one? There's only one folder that's going to have that, and that's, I think, this one. So because this is configurationfile.ini. Everyone got that? Okay. So right click this. This has all the information of how we installed successfully the first SQL Server. All right. So I'm just going to open that. It's going to open in Notepad, and there it is. This is the file. So if you are, suppose, a system administrator and your boss would say that, hey, we have 18 branches across the globe, and we're not paying for your ticket, so since you're genius and you're going to be remotely connecting to all, Brazil and Singapore and Hong Kong branches, or if you're lucky, hey, we're going to give you a ticket and you're going to, fly across the globe. Some of my colleagues were so lucky. Okay, so you will, if you had installed this, so if you have this configuration file, this is just for SQL Server. If you have this configuration file, we're going to make some changes here. So this means we need to first copy this configuration file to the new machine. And then we're going to make just 4 changes. And then we're going to launch this zero-touch installation from PowerShell. So first of all, this file contains all the answers or all the selections we made during the successful installation of SQL Server. So yes, configuration file, close this, and I'm going to copy this from this machine to the other new machine that we just introduced or installed. So right click, copy. Okay, in VMware, there's this weird thing that if you cannot copy directly from one machine and drag and drop to the second machine. So I'm going to try to do that. Sometimes I get embarrassed because it happens, and sometimes I'm correct. Oh yeah, today is my lucky day. I'm correct. Anyway, so I want to copy this configuration file. That's the only thing I need from the successful installation. I'll copy it on my desktop for now. Oh, there you go. There it is. Copy and replace. Okay. From the desktop, I'll try to copy it to the second machine because it seems to work most of the time. Okay, today not. So yeah, it's not drag and drop. It's not doing that. So I'm just going to right click settings. Anyone remember that there was an option for copying file from within the virtual machine and to the laptop operating system? So that option was called, in the options it was called shared folders. From shared folders, what we can do is we can copy from virtual machine to the hard disk and from the laptop operating system to the virtual machine. So shared folders is already enabled. Is it enabled for everyone? It's only enabled when you have VMware tools installed. It is enabled with you guys, right? Oh. So VMware tools is installed. Okay. So always enabled. I'm just going to enable the shared folders because I want to copy that file from my laptop or host operating system. Always enabled. The D drive is already there because when I was creating these shared folders, it was already configured. Press OK. So when I press OK, now Z drive appears here, which is my window from this virtual machine to my laptop OS. And there's a D drive inside, which is actually my host OS D drive. So everyone able to copy the configuration file to the second machine? Oh, I'm late actually. Yeah, it's in the. So on the laptop, I'm just gonna copy from there to my D drive, so I could, pick from there. Oh, it's 31 gigs left. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna paste here on my D drive, replace the file in the destination. Yeah. Well, I practiced this before. So now when I go to my D drive from within my virtual machine, there's that file. Okay. So one less step towards zero touch installation. Okay. Configuration file has reached. So till now, what's going on? We installed the second machine, SQLCMD.exe. We added 2 disks, and we created a RAID1. And now we copied that configuration file from SQLCMD.1 to SQLCMD.2. The configuration file has been copied. So if I want to put it in, so after configuration file copying, the steps, major steps are much easier. Configuration file copied to new server. Second thing, edit the configuration file. We just want to understand why we are editing and what we are editing, right? Third thing, create a .ps1 script. So ps1 script is for Visual Basic language, right? Visual Basic. They're wrong, right? Visual Basic has .ps1 extension. Anyone from right side, left side here? .ps1 extension is for Visual Studio or Visual Basic language, right? Which one? Yeah. Okay. Hey, you guys have competition here. Come on. So .ps1 PowerShell script we're going to create. This is a very simple one, and make sure that SQL Server 2012 is mounted to DVD of new server. Okay, these are 4 major steps here. Configuration file has been copied. Okay, done. Edit the configuration file and then create a PS1 script. Okay, let's edit the configuration file. There are 4 places for changes needed to be made. So we're gonna make 4 changes in the configuration file. and let's go do that. So I'm just going to the second server here, and this is a configuration file. Let's open that. You're able to see that? It's kind of clear. Well, it's clear to me. Okay. Even though kickboxing. No, even if you know kickboxing, you can't make it there. No way. Now it's clearer. Okay, so first thing, UI mode. This is going to be command prompt based installation. So we have to put colon here. What is the meaning of putting a colon here? This will not. This is a comment. This will not be executed. Okay. What else? Quiet. Yes. True. It will be a quiet mode. True. So two things. Graphical mode, just put a comment or commentize it. Okay, that's some new terminology I'm just coming up with. And second thing I did was quiet is from false, make it true. Okay, two more things we have to do. Under the action equals install, I'm going to create a space now. There is a question coming to the team left now, and right as well, because there's a competition going on. Right? Left. No, right, the other right. Okay. So now there is another one. Okay, that's why I created screenshots, because I just don't expect me to remember everything. Come on. So these are all the screenshots I took when I was doing my test installation, and yeah, there it is. So 2 lines added there in yellow. I accept SQL Server license terms equals true. So I'm going to write it again in with magnifying glass. And the second is indicate progress equals true, right? So I'm going to add these 2 lines now. I accept SQL Server license terms. So we have to do our I do's and then indicate progress equals true. So I heard that. Yeah, come on, David. I'm just kidding. When you're looking at me, so now I know what you. So, anyone following?
I can't see.
Oh, yeah. So let me just make it magnifico. So I accept SQL Server license terms. So, and the second is indicate progress equals true. I accept SQL Server license terms. And it has to be, try to make it caps, because we don't want unwanted, results. So I accept SQL Server license terms. So let me just, if everyone has done, I'll just write as well. Done? Dude it done? All right. And indicate progress. So spellings have to be perfecto. Indicate progress. Colon, inverted commas, true. Okay. So I'm just gonna write it down now. Inside that configuration file under. Seriously. Okay, I don't need that. Second screen now. My tablet was my second screen, but okay, so caps lock on, because I accept. Oh, sorry. I accept what? SQL Server license terms. Is it term or terms? S. Okay. There's a Z. Okay. Thanks. And true. Oops. Well, it's, you know, if we go exactly at this and indicate progress, right? Indicate progress. True. Okay, we're done. So 4 changes we made. It's not going to be graphical interface, so we commented it. Quiet is true because it should be quiet mode. But you know what? If we had left it like this, indicate progress was not there. And if we had not done it with, or we're going to be doing with PowerShell now, if we had not gone this way, then what happens is it's going to start and we have no idea what's going on. Nothing in event viewer, nothing in process, in task manager, nothing in anywhere, processes. So I tried to look everywhere, then I thought, okay, there has to be another way. And internet is full of it. All right, we're ready. Okay, so let's go back, close and save this. So configuration file is saved. Now the next task is create a .ps1 script, right? So we have edited and the configuration file, made 4 changes, create the .ps1 script. So I'm just going to go back here to this. Let's open, right click, Windows PowerShell, right click again, make sure you're opening it as a run as administrator. So open the PowerShell as run as administrator. So what's the main purpose of installation of SQL Server? What are the main objectives we're trying to achieve here? Anyone knows that? One is that we want to automate the installation. Second is we want to test the RAID1 on this installation. So anyone from left side can tell me what is RAID1? RAID1 is I'm about to go to the right side, but anyone from left side, what is RAID1? Okay, right side, RAID1. It's redundancy. Okay, anyone else? It's mirroring, but what does it do? RAID1. So it's an exact copy. 2 disks are always in sync with each other. 2 disks. So that's why we added 2 disks here, and we made RAID1. Why? If we lose 1 disk and you had an operating system installed on that and you had SQL Server installed on that, and if there were thousands of users connected at that time, you lose 1 disk and you are earning 50 per hour, 40 per hour job, right? So your job will be in jeopardy at once. I mean, you lose 1 disk, thousands of users, banking users or insurance or hospital users, insurance company users or hospital company users, they're all disconnected. So your boss is right on you and saying, hey, this users are disconnected, what do you do? So what is RAID again? RAID1, it will be, redundancy. And it's going to, if you lose 1 disk, it's going to still keep your operating system intact, right? Okay, so we're on track now. So let's create that script, but before that we need to allow ourselves to create or run scripts. There's a command for that. You guys are all PowerShell experts, come on. If I get an access deny now I need to run one command to allow myself to give run commandlets. That, yeah, set execution policy unrestricted or remote signed, set dash exe and press tab, you know that. Set execution, okay, let me just put it on. Set execution policy, so you put just exe and press tab. Remote signed, press tab. Okay, enter, yes, press Y. So we are now allowed to run scripts. So I'll minimize that. I need to create a notepad file which will be saved in .ps1 extension. You do that all the time, right? So, or we can do it in ISC, but normally, you know, it's a bad habit now that I'll just go for text file, because later also we might need to do that. So text file is install SQL. I want to give .ps1 here, but if I click here, it becomes a text file and not .ps1. Anyone knows what to do? The file extension thing, right? The file extensions are hidden. So I'll just go to view, and there it is, file name extensions, view, file name extensions, and now it's showing the txt. It's not txe, txt. Okay, and .ps1. Okay, so we are ready to create a script. So what is going on here right now? The big picture is, okay, so we got the new machine. Today we created a new machine, and then we added 2 disks to that new machine. Why? Because we wanted to test RAID1, and RAID1 makes the disks highly available. If you lose one disk, if you crash one disk, whatever is installed on that disk will be still available. Okay, so and then we copy the configuration file. Why? Because we want to install SQL Server with zero touch installation, which means that when we initialize this installation, we don't have to, it's not going to stop anywhere to ask for answers. All right, we are on track. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so I'm just going to open this because we haven't put anything inside. So open with Notepad, the PS1. So I'm just going to start writing in PS1 now. So it should, so first I will have to add .NET framework in this machine. So from PowerShell, if you're trying to do that, you have to first import the module of Server Manager. So we're going to be just adding 4 lines here, and then we're going to start our installation, and it better work. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna there's another point. You know, in one movie the guy says light bulb. Okay, hey, you know which movie is that? Huh? You don't see animated movies? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say the name anyway. Okay, so no, I'm gonna forget that. So, you know, please remind me, 5th change we have to do in the configuration file. The configuration file we copied from the first system has installed SQL Server on C drive. So please remind me, before running the script, we have to change all those C : backslashes to E : backslashes by replace. I'm going to do that, right? So before running the script, because it's going to fail. If you know, the configuration file will try to do that in, well, You know what? It's not going to fail, but we don't want to install it on C drive. Okay, so I'm just going to start with import module. What was I writing? Import dash module server manager. What does this do?
It brings the files or commandlets to the
PowerShell, the current PowerShell. Okay, for all the server manager related commandlets. Okay. Second thing, add Windows feature. I'm gonna press tab, so it's gonna, but not here, of course. Features. Is it Windows feature or Windows features? No S, right? Add Windows feature. Oh, you're doing that. That's good. So, a .NET framework. AS-net-framework. Did you just try that?
Yeah.
It's exactly this, right? Okay. Oh, okay. So it's filling up, and this is the correct spelling, right? Kinda. AS-net. It's not there? Yeah, you're right. Actually, I should have gone for IS. You know what? That's why I have screenshots. Oh, there it is. You know, it took a lot of effort to do that. Okay. Yeah, it says that. So it's not in IC, it's not automatically coming there. Because it's the name of feature, but maybe it's not in IC. Yeah. So AS-net-framework. Exactly, yeah, that's what I wrote there. And so you know what that is. So we need to make sure that SQL Server ISO is mounted to our second or this server, current server, right? So then we're going to give this command. So I'm just going to go there and make sure, because I think I don't have it mounted. So on this machine, is SQL Server mounted right now or not? DVD, no, it's the Windows 2012. Browse, no, gazillions of folders. SQL Server, soft, Dreamspark. There you go. So SQL Server is mounted. This means that setup.exe we can launch. So there are two things we need to know. Where is the setup.exe inside the DVD? First of all, the path for that. Second thing is, where is that configuration file we copied? In my case, I copied it to the C drive. Right? So first, so your DVD ROM is D drive or E drive? D, exactly. So D : / on the root is setup.exe. Right or wrong? It better be. Should be. So if I go to this PC, go to D drive, open, and yep, there it is in the root. So it's this path, D : / and setup.exe. Okay. So one thing is confirmed. Second thing I want to confirm, I think it's different for you. C drive, this is the path for C drive for configuration file. C : / configurationfile.ini. In my case, this is about, maybe you put it inside a folder. So you can put that path, right? Minimize. So D : / setup.exe / okay. Have to be sure. So setup.exe / configuration file equals and the path of the configuration.ini. That's all. In the picture, I had put it in soft folder, but here I put it in the root of C drive. So don't get confused here. Right? So first, where is the setup file of SQL Server? Second is / configuration file switch, then the path. Okay, that's CNN or BBC? Oh, okay. News. We got some news. Okay, so guys, we have enough time today. So team left. Okay, now you gotta tell me. So okay, so team left. You have to do this lab, and I'm gonna help you do that, right? So this lab. So we have enough time today, a lot of time, right? So maybe you guys came later or you missed it. So try. I'm here to help. So try to do that today, and also the previous labs. If you're trying to do that, try to do the screenshots of that as well. Okay, so this is the path. I think most of you have done it already. Don't start that. Okay, cool. I guess nobody started. This magnifying glass is pretty confusing. So configuration file equals inverted commas. Please let me know if I'm doing it wrong. // configurationfile.ini inverted commas. Is that correct? Because you saw the actual syntax, right, everyone? So this is correct, right? So yeah, configuration. The spelling should be correct. Yep, that's it. Okay, the last change, which I forgot and I remember now, is as far as this is concerned, we're okay. We can close that. So what is this PS1 will do? It will install first, import the module server manager. It will install that .NET framework. Then it's going to launch configuration.ini file as the answer file. It's going to launch the setup of SQL Server, and it's going to take all the answers of the required configuration from the configuration file, right? So it's going to launch the SQL Server, but it's going to take all the answers from the configuration file. So this is normally called answer file because it's answering all the questions or wherever the screens were supposed to stop to ask us what to do next. Okay, but there could be any kind of errors that could pop up, so be ready. You were warned, right? Okay. Boring. No, anyway, so close, save. We need to put it on E drive. So I'm just gonna quickly back. This is the last step actually, before we launch the zero touch installation or unattended installation. The last step is wherever there is C:\\, we need to change it to E:\. There are 3 places actually. So I'm going to go to edit of this and then go for replace. Right? Edit, replace. So wherever there is C:\, change it with E:\, like this. I think since you're doing scripting and programming already, so you would know that this thing. So find next. Where is that C:\? Oh, there it is. So install shared directory. Okay, replace. Then the next C:\, I'll click replace again. Then the third C:\, I'll click replace again, and that's it. So in 3 places it was C:, and I've changed it to E:. That's our RAID1 drive with 2 disks. Okay, last minute changes. No, okay, no changes, just checking, double checking. I accept SQL Server license terms. Anyway, if there are error, it's going to hopefully pop up. Okay, closing this, saving this. So major steps: new server, 2 disks, RAID1 done, configuration file from a successful SQL Server installation copied to the new server, 1 small PS1 PowerShell file script created to launch the SQL Server setup and get all the answers from this configurationfile.ini answer file. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the PowerShell And let's do the honors. Okay, where to go? So cd backslash dir. So where's that PS1? Oh, it's on the root. In my case, it's on the root. So it's called this install SQL.ps1. So if I put ins and press tab, this is it. Should I put it in the folder? Then I have to change all the paths. Anyway, let's see. Enter. Okay, it's installing Server Manager, and the module and the .NET Framework. Okay, it has begun. Woohoo! Okay, that's so far so good. So it's installing SQL Server, and it's getting all the answers from the Configurationfile.ini. Okay, let me put it on. So searching updates on server. Hey, everyone's SQL Server, the second one has internet connection, right? Okay, too late. Okay, because I added the second network card for this reason. Maybe I forgot to mention, but yeah, we were supposed to have internet connected to that. I just remembered. So far so good. So the whole SQL Server installation, you remember there were so many windows we had to choose, so many options we had to choose. All that was recorded in configuration file. Now the whole thing is running, and I hope there's no error, because there were so many errors when I was testing at home. So there was a lot of effort put in this version. Okay. The summary.txt file is going to create in the end, and it must say pass for all the features. That will be the correct installation. That would be our, confirmation. So the rest of the guys who are not following, please finish your screenshot for the previous labs. So, and let me know if there is any issue. Anyone got an error till now? You had?
Well, it's still running, but it said like an error code popped up. I just don't know if that was part of the installation or.
Yeah. So you took a snapshot of that, or?
No, it wasn't any red text. It was just in the PowerShell.
Oh.
I was reading a line. It said error code something.
Yeah, this came for me as well. Well, yeah, summary text in the end would tell what was that for. Maybe it's ignorable. So David, you're not. Oh. But what about the previous ones? Oh, okay. And in this local, it's not set up, right? Oh, yeah. External drive. Not in this system as well. Yeah. Okay. Which you forgot at home, or what? Okay. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, as long as we are understanding the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so far so good. if you had to do SCCM installation, System Center Configuration Manager, you will be screaming. And this would be piece of cake for you. Okay, I'm done. So please review the summary.txt log for further details. The following error occurred: the Windows account SQL admin SQL does not exist and cannot be provisioned as a SQL Server system administrator. Are you kidding me? Okay, what else?
Said it couldn't find a .NET framework.
Oh, really? Anyone else got an error?
I don't know.
Oh, did we join this machine to the domain?
I did.
All right, I didn't. God. Okay. No wonder it's saying SQL admin. SQL admin who? So the installation for you should be smooth, right? It's still going, right?
It's still going.
Okay. Oh, this means I could just quickly join and redo the thing. Redo. Now it's going to spew up a lot of errors.
Are you guys set? The setup does not exist.
Ouch. How could I miss it? SQL domain.local. Oh, seriously. SQL. Yeah, if you separately install it, it's also gonna work. SQL domain.local. SQL domain.local. Okay. Not good. Two not three. Okay. Maybe it's not VMnet. Net 5. I'm on VMnet 11. That's why. So if anyone is done, you could just go to Management Studio, at least try to connect and create one database from this installation. And then we're going to crash the disk. The fun part. Okay, so SQL admin. Restart now. So, guys, you have created third machine, second machine, clone. Yeah. So create one and name it SQL mem02, and the IP address would be the next sequential available IP address 100.3, right? 200.3. So create one. So I'm going to be working with you, right? Create a new SQL machine. Guys, those who haven't done this, I'm sending instructions for creating a new machine, the name, the IP address. So I'll just guide you to the whole thing as well. So it's clone it, name man02. So please check your Google group. I have sent the instructions for creating the third machine, everyone. Okay, so I have joined this machine to the domain. I'm just going to run that script again and hope that less errors will come. Then we have some more labs as well. So anyone completed the SQL installation? Oh, it's still going on. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll launch this again now with domain credentials. Install SQL, enter. Okay, it started again with domain credentials now. So it's still going on, right? Yeah, it's SSD against Sarah. So yep.
I'm following this one right now. I mean, I'm following, but I'm not doing it on my computer because I missed last class and I didn't install SQL and man02.
Oh, okay.
But right now I'm creating man03 and putting domain and everything. So
Okay.
just,
Cool.
but do you have any recorded video of last?
Yeah, YouTube. You're not added to the Google
I
group?
am, but there's no video of the installation of
Second
SQL.
one.
Yeah.
There is. Guys, everyone received the second video on the Google group? Second video.
The SQL installation.
I did send it to the group. Nobody received it? The second. It's on the YouTube channel anyway. If you have the link for the first one, go to the playlist and.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't reach the group? Ah. So. Oh, yeah, it's not there. Ooh, okay. Bad. Not good. Go, 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 go.
Sorry, the last notification that you sent out on the group, can we go please?
Oops, wrong one. Yeah, it's alright. And class videos, and that's. I'm just gonna resend it. Yeah, you were saying?
No, just on the group. Can you go to the group
Yep.
notifications? Okay, the last one. Click on. You say here create 2 network cards, but we already have the 2 network
Yeah.
cards from the 2.
Oh, if you already have it, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So that's why when you ask, because somebody asks you, so we're creating the third one, and you're like, no, just the second one, because we already had 2 from
Oh
the
yeah.
2.
So I'll just clarify that. Total 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. and yeah, 2 extra hard disks also. So 1 hard disk is already there, 2 extra hard disks. Okay. Okay, I send the day 2 video link. Oh, seriously. Okay, when the installation finishes, I'll continue this video. I'm pausing it now. Resuming. So my installation is going on, but this is the E drive. I think in your case you have more folders here created. I'm not showing folder here because my installation is still going on, because I had to reinstall after joining the domain. Big blunder. And it's still taking time. But how do we check that we can crash the drive and still the drive will be intact? If the drive on which you are working, if it crashes, if it gets damaged, you won't have any software seeing there. You cannot even see that drive letter even there, if that's the case for one hard disk. But now we have RAID1, so we can crash any one of the hard disks and check. So for this, on this new server, I'm gonna right click and go to settings, and any one of those 2 disks we can crash right now. And when we crash this any one of these 2 disks, so what we need to do here is, if you're there, you just have to click on any one of the 2 disks other than the 100 GB C drive. Don't go for that, that's the operating system disk. The other 2 disks we added and then created a RAID1 on that. So the RAID1 disks, any one of those, we can just select and click remove below here.
That's unplugging. That's the last one.
Yeah, we are just simulating any kind of damage, physical damage, where the software, will it will not be possible. The disk is not even available there, right? So before that, so what are we expecting after the crash? So if we remove one of the disks, click here, and I'm just cancelling out for now, and then I'm going to come back and remove that. But we're expecting that this E drive will still be intact. I'll be able to still work. I'm just going to create another folder, test2. So this is the E drive with 2 disks below, but one volume above. So in your case, it has the SQL Server installation right now. So let's go ahead and crash this disk. So I'm just going to quickly remove that. So right click SQL Server, go to settings, and any one of the 60 GB drive, second one, I'm selecting that and clicking remove, and it is removed now, and press OK. It's totally gone, and I'm still able to work on that folder, test 3, test 4, but what's the proof that it's really gone? Test 5. So anyone tried that? So click remove any of the 60 gigs drive, and then press OK, and try to create another database after that. So now you're working on just one drive while one drive has crashed. So what's the proof that it is crashed? So I'm just going to go back to tools and go to computer management of that server where I previously added the disk, and then go for disk management. Now there should be an error showing here, missing. The disk is missing right now, but one of the disk is missing because we removed it totally, and it is saying failed redundancy. So now in a production environment, I would run and go for the exact same drive, come back and put it in the server, and then resync it. And that syncing is where, when we start resyncing the new drive with the old drive, that's where hardware RAID is very fast and software RAID literally sucks. And you're going to see that. It's like it slows down the whole thing, and you're like waiting for 6 hours. Oh, it's syncing, okay. And after 6 hours, oh, it's still syncing. Oh, my job. Okay, or you can say that. So, or you can take your boss to very good lunch and dinner, because it's gonna take that long. So so how do I put the hard disk back? So we've just removed the hard disk, we've crashed the hard disk, and it's saying failed redundancy, but still the folder structure is intact, and I can still work on that folder structure right now, and even it's not freezing on me. So this means that for now, if there were hundreds of users connected, they would not know that the hard disk got damaged on which their data was, and one of the hard disk is gone, other hard disk is just running the whole show. So I'm just going to quickly go here to this computer management and then to the disk management, and what I need to do, first of all, simulate that I'm adding a new hard disk, and we're going to do the same way, the way we added the two hard disks before, right? So I went to the market and bought a new hard disk, exactly the same. So right click, settings. Now I'm gonna add, go to click add and do the same thing. Hard disk, it's already selected. Next, next, and you know, nothing changed here. 60 gigs hard disk again, and finish. So now I have the second hard disk. I have to just quickly make it a part of my RAID1 mirror. So this is again unallocated space, and I need an unallocated spaces or a hard disk that is not formatted. But first, whenever we introduce a hard disk, we have to right click and click initialize, online and initialize. So I right click the newly added hard disk. It's still not going to automatically join my RAID1 mirror, right? We have to do one more manual step here to add it to our mirror, and it's going to start syncing back to the first disk, and it's going to try to get all the data from there. And so right now what we can see here is that the third hard disk, which is missing, which is actually totally gone, but it just shows here missing. I have to remove it from the RAID1, and I have to add the new hard disk to this RAID1. So remove the missing disk, which is actually physically not available, but it's still showing as missing. So I have to right click the intact hard disk, and I have to click remove mirror. It's not going to remove the actual RAID1. It's going to offer the option that remove the missing disk. So I'll click remove mirror. There's that missing disk right now. So missing is just, icon there. The actual disk is actually gone, totally gone. We removed it. So I'm just gonna select missing and remove from our mirror. Yes, and add mirror, exactly. So the RAID1 one hard disk is still intact, and now it's showing add mirror option here. So disk 2, it detects automatically. If we had formatted the second disk, it would not have detected that. The disk has to be, unformatted, showing unallocated space. So now we are adding it to the mirror, and yes. So when we press yes, it's going to start syncing. The intact disk is going to sync with the new disk, and there you go, 4% resyncing, and that's gonna take forever. Yeah. Well, yep, it's the software RAID, but that's exactly how hardware RAID works. And when it used to happen in our data center, I would just remove the faulty hard disk, put the second hard disk, and that's it. Syncing happens. Okay, it doesn't take 45 minutes, so it's like 10-15 minutes. The hardware RAID done, and no freezing for the
Under what circumstance would it be done automatically? Because right now we have to be there and have to go to configuration. And this is what we call admin console, so we need privileges for it. If you were to ask one technicians that would not have access to this, how would you do this so it's automatic?
So it's outside automatic. Okay, there is a possibility for that as well, and I can show you here. There are types of disks here. I mean, the rack servers, if you have seen those, rack servers. So, these hard disks here, we can just, this would just show. So we can just remove the hard disk. So what happened, what used to happen when I used to go to data center and check all the servers we are responsible for, our team. So I would see amber lights, and at once we would know, okay, either it's dead or it's about to die. So if there are two ways here, either we have an extra drive already inserted that is on standby. So when we are configuring the RAID, we put it on standby, that we're not going to use this drive, it's just going to be standby. Then automatically, as soon as it loses one drive, the RAID detects that, and it automatically activates the standby disk, and it syncs. If that's not the case, in our case, and in many other cases, even now, I don't see that they want to have one extra disk space just on standby for 3 years, 4 years. So nobody does that. So we do have extra spare ones in the store. So we just take it out, but that's a manual process now, and it's called break fix. So we are on break fix, and so we just take the spare one, take out this one, put the other one, automatically it starts syncing. You don't have to do anything manual. It's hardware RAID. It's hardware RAID. Yeah, that's why.
Because of that, but if it's software, then you have to go through.
Exactly.
Okay.
There are ways to do software that are not.
No, that's automatically as well for third party. This is the Microsoft free one, right? If you pay more, you get more, but still software RAID is slower than hardware RAID. And also it depends on how high end your servers is and how good is the third party technology other than Microsoft. But the concept exactly is the same. All right, so, oh wow, okay. Any one of you, the RAID is completed, resync, and completed as well on SATA? Okay, officially it does not suck. Okay, so it's not that bad, but because we did not have much data, oh, you guys have data, I don't have anything. So it was so quick for me, but it's done for you as well. So with SQL Server data. And SQL Server is intact, and you just checked and added another database? Okay, cool. So RAID 1 perfectly works. RAID 5 would work the same way. You just need minimum of 3 disks. I mean, it has different, you can go for 32 disks even, right? But you can still lose one disk out of 32. When you lose the second one, the whole thing is gone. The whole thing is gone. So RAID 5 is all stripe set with parity. Parity information. And Windows 2012, it introduced, actually that is called RAID 6, where you can lose 2 disks and still everything will be intact. You lose a third one, the whole thing is gone.
I had that happen to me over the Christmas holidays last year. RAID 5 lost 2 disks.
2 disks,
Just died.
the whole thing. Oh.
Worst part about it was that it was
No backup?
It was the server that was running both my name servers on it.
Oh my God.
And
So
the whole thing just died.
you had to restore from backup then?
Luckily, it wasn't my hardware. It was
Okay.
my father's hardware, but still, he lost both of his name servers, which means
Oh,
that
shoot.
all the websites that he was supporting all went down, and the mail went down, his website went down, his buddy's websites went down.
Okay, that's a chain reaction kind of.
So,
Yikes. Yeah, so for this scenario, if 2 disks are gone, yeah, this is, what can we do? Exactly. So, okay, that was RAID 1, very interesting. Then there is EFS that you can just protect the files for the SQL Server, but this is something that, for security, in the security class, you might get to know that EFS and BitLocker anyway. So let's go ahead and try to do other things now. So zero touch installation, as far as that was concerned, so we do have the tools ready. If you had to install somewhere else, this is it. Use the Configurationfile.ini, and we can make a lot of other changes to this zero touch installation till the end. It works fine. So let's go ahead and try to know something else. So I'm just going to go back here. So we should put the OS on RAID 1. I was planning to do the, so in production environment, what we do, we always use for operating systems RAID 1, for applications RAID 5. Or now we're using normally RAID 10 for applications as well. RAID 10 is 1 plus 0. So pair, a pair, a pair, and then make one volume out of that pair. So we should make sure that all service packs are installed. Yeah, we know that. EFS, BitLocker. Okay, these are, we can do that too, but just go away. Okay, let's add a third. So yeah, we did that. RAID 1, install SQL, make a change in the conversion. Yep, do it, done. So installing the SQL Server database engine, that's what we did. It's the heart of SQL Server 2012 deployment. The database engine stores, processes, and secures data. Yeah, tell me something we don't know. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, SQL Server 2012 supports up to 50 instances of database engine on a single computer. So we're gonna add another instance to our SQL installation on our first server, or SQL mem01. Then we're going to try to access the second instance and first instance and try to create some databases. Then there is that the statement from the query we can create the database as well. So let's try to do that as well. Let's install another instance apart from the default instance. Let's create 2 databases for both instances from this query. We'll just go to a new query and type create database, name of the database, and then we're going to try to give the size to the database. We're going to try to give the name to the database, .mdf, maximum size, file growth should be growth by 1 GB. So we're going to create the .mdf file as well as the .ldf file, which is the log file. You always have to create one master database file and then the log file for that as well. It could be the master database could be on E drive, which is RAID 1, and if you had created 2 RAID 1s, so 2 drives RAID 1, then 2 more drives RAID 1 again. One RAID 1 has one mirror has the database file, the other mirror has the that log files, right? So in our Exchange environment, we normally have 78 disks, and we have like half of the disks they have the database, and half of the disks have the log files or transaction log files. So, and they are all coming from SAN. So anyone understands the concept of SAN, storage area network? You borrow the disks from SAN, and they appear in your system as if they were physically placed, but they are actually over the network. You're accessing those. Yeah, this is coming in our future labs when we're going to do clustering. You're going to know the concept for the SAN as well, or I'm going to just add that. Okay, so let's go for second instance and then try to do these queries and try to create a database from this create statement. Create database, name of the database, and then we're going to try to know more of how to give size from there, because from GUI we can just click create database, and that's it. It's gonna get created with the size given, with the unlimited. We can change those options, but from the command prompt or what we can or the query area, we can just also do that as well. So I'm just going to go for SQL mem01, where we had initially installed one SQL Server, and it has just one instance installed, the MS SQL Server, which is the default instance, and we created one database there. So now we're going to add another instance. So suppose the scenario is that there is another team, maybe SCCM team, the System Center Configuration Manager team, or SCOM team, System Center Operations Manager, or the BlackBerry team. They need another database from enterprise, BAS server, the BlackBerry enterprise servers. So there are countless other applications, third-party applications for hospital or banking. They always require SQL Server databases. So any other team asks that, hey, we need a SQL Server instance, and we're going to be creating 5 databases there. So either you give them a new hardware and then install the SQL Server and give them that default instance that get installed when you install the SQL Server, or you add another instance into this already installed SQL Server. So let's add that new instance in this SQL mem01, not 2. So the previous one. So I'm just going to go, I'm already there, and how do we install the second instance? So I'm just going for the DVD-ROM, and it's going to be that usual installation, the way we installed the whole thing the first time, but it's going to be different now, and we need to see that how to install a new instance. Maybe you're asked to have one instance for BlackBerry best servers, one instance for a hospital application, one instance for SCOM server, one instance for SCCM. So 5 separate instances, and each instance must have 2 databases. So, and both databases we're going to create not from the GUI but from the SQL statements. So I'm just going to go to the installation, and still just like new installation, I'm just going to go for new SQL Server standalone installation. Everyone there? Every 2? Every 3? Okay, back to 1. So make sure that your NIC is connected to internet, because it will try to check for latest updates. Okay, all passed. Press OK. Okay. So include SQL Server product updates. It's just checking for updates. Then we need to install instance from the command prompt as well, just the instance, and then later just the database as well. So we're gonna go slowly to command prompt for everything. If you understand the graphical interface, which is easy, so we do get to be familiarized with the so product updates have been checked from the internet. I'll just go next. It's just now it's going to actually scan for internet updates, any new features available for 2012. Screenshot. Okay, done. So next, now it's saying perform a new installation of SQL Server 2012 or add features to the already available existing instance. So we're going to install a new instance. The previous instance is showing there. We're going to go for just new instance right now. And there are instance related features, and then there are shared components that are shared with all the instances. So we're going to just go and install a new instance. Suppose it's for another team that requires their own set of databases and everything separate from the first instance. So again, the key comes next. I accept the terms. Okay, SQL Server feature installation. We're not going for SharePoint now, and we're not going for defaults. Okay. Till now, okay, here shared features are what we selected already, and we can select all, but now I'm just adding these features for the new instance, and we're still not going for analysis services and reporting services, but later we're going to be going in depth for these as well. So I'm just adding it these SQL replication feature, full text feature, which just goes for if you put a wrong text as well in the search, it's going to go for the nearest match and try to search for that, and data quality services as well. So these are just regular features for any new instance. We can unselect even those and just install the database engine if you want, but we're going to just add extra features as well. So next, now it's going to ask for the name. Okay, first it's going to check show details. What is checking? Product update and .NET framework. So till now what I've selected is just the 3 features of the instance. Let me know if I'm going fast. I'll just go back wherever you're at now. So everyone's installing? Team right, team left. Day 2 done? Alright, cool. Day 3. Okay, cool. So next, now the new instance. So suppose the BlackBerry team requires a set of databases for their BES servers, so BlackBerry Enterprise servers, those are called, and they always require databases for that. So BES instance, we can just put the instance name there, or the word instance. Okay, so as soon as we click outside or click to the instance ID, it's going to just automatically fill that BES instance or BlackBerry Enterprise server instance. So database related to this service. So when we are installing BES or BlackBerry Enterprise servers, it always then asks during the installation where is that server name and instance name. So when that installation is going on, even if you're installing any other application, SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager or System Center Operations Manager, they always stop if you are using a separate database, or WSUS, which is Windows Server Update Services. For Windows updates, it's always there. So when you're using a separate SQL Server, they ask for server name and instance name. So if we have one SQL Server and we are offering instances for all these services, first of all, we must have a very good high-end server, and we should have 2 of these servers. So there should be replication going on for each database. So if one goes down, the second one could take over. We're gonna go for the standby services as well. But anyway, so we created an instance for that. It's okay. Let's go next. The usual disk space requirements. Click next. Nothing here. Okay, for now, whatever service accounts SQL Server itself has assigned, allotted, we're gonna just leave it at that. The thing to be noted here is when in the last installation, if you go back to that video, you would notice that SQL Server browser was disabled, and now when we add the second instance, the SQL Server browser is on automatically, like it just automatically put it on automatic. Okay, again I repeat the 2 words. Anyway, so what it means is if there are more than one instance, it's going to enable this SQL Server browser service, so more than one instance can be accessed from outside, right? So let's go next. We're gonna just leave it like that. But in SharePoint installation, when we were installing the SQL Server, we added our domain admin account. Here we're just gonna leave it at that, configuration with its own allotted accounts. Okay, we know here that it's going to be still Windows authentication mode. Later, when we get a bit more advanced in this SQL Server, then we're going to go for mixed mode as well and try to know what's the difference. For now, let's just add current user, data directories and file stream. We're just going to leave it like that and go ahead. So what I did here is just add current user, that's all. Next. No, we're not gonna send. We don't want to improve this product. No, I'm just kidding. So, oh yeah, in production you should do that. Yeah, right. So yes, we want to improve that product. Just a joke. Okay, next. Show details. It checked FAT32 existing clustered or cross language, same architecture. Okay. Next. And okay, this is the file we just played with, right? So now this configuration.ini file has recorded the answers or the settings we have done for the second instance as well. So this one configuration file knows the full installation options of this SQL Server with 2 instances, right? So click install. So now anywhere we want to install with zero touch or unattended installation where it should have 2 instances, this configuration file can be used for that, right? So there's a quiz coming, and be ready, and it's going to be from, of course, those videos. So maybe you have to go through those videos to just look for the answers. If you've already gone through those videos, no, for the quiz answers, because if you have that book, which was recommended on the first day 1, that would help, of course, but it's an open book quiz anyway. But it's going to be really about that, all the installations we have done. So if you have repeated those labs, it will be very easy for you to answer those quiz questions. And those videos have all the slide pages as well. So PowerPoint slides, so you will be able to answer just from the video. But I've sent the PDF as well for the day 1. Yeah, day 2 I have to send, and day 3 as well. Okay, so second instance getting installed. We need to also know how to install the instance from command prompt. But when we install the second instance, we're gonna add 2 databases, and we're not gonna add from graphical interface. We're gonna use those commands to do that. And it's getting cold. Seriously? Really? No, it's me feeling that. Okay, so installation progress. While this is going on, let me just grab that slide. So we need to run these queries, as well as while the instance is going, the installation is going on. Yeah, we did that. Okay, this was, I should have shown before, but yeah, we have already done that. So steps for installation: grab a configuration.ini file, copy it to new server, TBD, give carefully the command with the Q switch, and don't forget to join the new server to the domain. Okay, I forgot that. So yeah, we did that. We did this. See, I did that so many. Oh, I think nobody checked this one. So after the successful installation, we're supposed to go for the summary.txt, and all the features should show passed. So in my case, I think that my installation is still stuck at that seam. So yeah, because I pressed enter, and it was working in the background. Okay, it's gonna take its time. I'll make sure. Did it create any folder here? Nothing. Okay, so it creates that summary.txt file inside the C drive. I'm just quickly going there because it turned up in the slide. So program files, SQL Server, version 11. Oh, it's still installing. So in my case, it's not there, but summary.txt should be showing all the features. When you go way down in the summary.txt file, if you have opened that, it should show all the paths like this. Anyway, so but you were able to create the databases, so you're okay anyway. This is just to show the boss. Hey, I did it correctly, yay. Okay, going next. So I was looking for that slide which I put there for creating the instance from a command prompt, but we're going to go for enabling and disabling as well. Since I was on that topic, then connectivity. Oh, okay, I did not put that there. So we'll do that. Anyway, let me just go back to the instance. Oh yeah, it's done. So let's go ahead and check if we have 2 instances or not. Are they showing there or not? So I'm just going to close this initial screen. I'm still in the management studio right now. I'll close that and go back and open that again. Management studio. So do we see 2 instances or 1? So if I connect just directly from here, that's the default instance we had. And if we connect again from here in the Object Explorer and go to Database Engine, and then go to this server name, browse for more, Database Engine, now there's the second instance showing here. So if anybody missed, I just went from connect here and then to the server name and then went for the browse and second instance, the Bez instance, right? With the server name showing here. This is exactly what we would have given if we were installing the BlackBerry Enterprise server, and it would have asked the server name and the instance name. So we would have put the separate server name there and the instance name, this one, there as well. And it would have connected if we had properly configured the SQL Server to receive remote connections. Okay, so I want to see the second instance as well, so I'm just going to select that and press OK and connect. So there you go, there's a second instance appearing here. We can manage both, but I just want to create two databases quickly for the second instance, and I don't want to do it from graphical interface. So I'm on the second instance and new query above. So when we click new query, then on the right side it decides to show up. All right, so we're ready now. Oops. Okay, so let's just go there. It was an easy statement, and there's a long list of syntaxes and statements, but we're gonna just try to at least quickly get these two instances up and running. If I get my hands on that. Oh, come on, where you are? Yep, there it is. So it's easy. So create database, the name of the database, and if you want to delete that, drop database, the name of the database. But the main thing is that if you want to define the size of the database, if you want to define the path of the database and define the file name, define how it should grow, should it auto grow, should the maximum size be unlimited, or should it be like 20 gigs, should it be 40 gigs, up to you. Normally we do make it unlimited, and file growth should be multiple files will be there, so 1 gigs, 1 GB when it fills up, then it creates another file, 1 GB when it fills up, just like the transaction logs. So whenever you create a database, it must have log files. It must have log files, otherwise it's not going to work. So whenever we create a database, always the path for the log file is always defined. When we create from graphical interface, it's automatically defined, the log file path, and server when we create from graphical interface. But when we are going for these query statements, so then we're going to have to define that. But while defining, we get to know the syntax, and it's going to be useful when we will be doing some more complicated stuff of configuration of tables, rows, and then trying to troubleshoot some of that when they really grow. So there are two databases that Microsoft has given. They're called AdventureWorks, and they have a lot of data inside. So we're going to be running the statements on those databases. We're going to learn how to attach already created databases with lots of data, and detach and then attach to other databases, and then try to run our queries there, and then auto shrink. So we're going to be doing a lot of testing on those databases with lots of huge amount of data there. How it grows, how auto shrink works, how auto close works. There are so many features, and then analysis services and reporting services, how they work. Okay, so I'm just gonna start doing that. It's just a very simple statement. Maybe you have already done that, so I'm just going to go there and put that. The whole thing, I wish I could have copied that. It's a file name size. But let's just create a simple database. Create database and the name of the database. So if we just go for create database, and then since it's a Bez database, so Bez 01. So it's BlackBerry Enterprise Server 01. If we create database, so what do? in order to create the database, what button do we click here? Do we click a button or just press enter? Execute, exactly. So here, or F5 or high 5, no, F5. So where's the database? There you go. So if we want to create two databases, does it just take so I'll just copy and paste, and does it create databases like this, best01 comma best02? So incorrect syntax near comma, it does not accept commas, right? Okay, thank you for day 2. Huh? Okay. Okay. So let's just create a second database, and we're gonna get down to that. Oh, sorry. So what does it create there? And execute this. Oh, 2 already exists. Yeah. Okay. So that's called messing up. Refresh. 2 databases are created there, and they have all their subfolders that we're going to be discovering and trying to play with them. But when we go to any database, we can go for properties there, and in the properties of the database, it just shows us the path. Last database, we did not take a backup for that, the SQL Server, and I just wanted to see the path. So when we go to files, now there we can see the path there. See program files. Whoa, it's a long one. See, 2 files are created. One is .mdf, the master database, and one is log.ldf. So these are automatically created there in the files when we go for files. We're going to be working on file groups, options, and a lot of other things. So instance level features as well as database level features. So I'm just going to go for that syntax so we could quickly create a database that is where we define our own sizes, auto growth, auto shrink features as well. So I'm just going to stay here. So if we want to delete the database, also we can just try that as well. So drop database, and which database you want to drop? Best0. Okay, it's asking that. Oh, it's offering that option just like ISC does. So I'm just going to select best2 and select, execute. So why didn't it go? I dropped it and executed it. So it's supposed to be deleted, but it's still showing there. What should I do? Is there any extra step I should do? It's still showing there, best2, while I deleted that. Refresh. So when I refresh, it's gone. Yep. So yeah, automatically it does not just go away. We have to refresh from the left side. Okay, and we have to select that just for that statement to execute, to get executed. So let's just remove these, then we'll come back to this one. Okay, there's that enabling and disabling the features. So I'm just going to quickly do that as an exam objective. We have to discover that. So if you want to enable a feature of, suppose your boss says that, okay, add that analysis services for database, for best instance, add the analysis services, and for the default instance, add the reporting services. So one instance, different service, second instance, different service. So how do we do that? I'm just going to go to the this control panel. For adding and removing services, we have to go to control panel, then we go for system and security, then we go for not system and security for programs. And then programs and features. Now the SQL Server, all the features and files are available here. We can uninstall any portion of that or all of it, but we're just going to go for SQL Server 2012 64-bit and uninstall change, or just double click that. If we select that, there are three options that are available. Either we can add features, we can remove features, or repair the whole thing by overriding the installation. So I'm just going to click add. It's asking for the media. Where's the media? So the 2012 should be mounted to the DVD-ROM. So press the DVD-ROM. I'm just going to press OK. Now it's going to start the setup. I just pressed add, so I will only be able to add stuff, but for removal it's a separate setup, and we can do the removal as well. So I'm just going to it's going to do the initial update, check all the latest updates for that, and then it's going to offer what do you want to add further to this instance, or whichever instance we want to add. So we should have a choice offered that for which instance. So if our scenario is that for the default instance add the reporting services, and for the best instance add the analysis services. So can we add at one time for two instances two different services, or we have to go for each instance one by one and do the update? So I'm just going to go next. It's just doing the initial setup and checking with internet SQL Server site if we can do that or not. Wow, 4 hours. It's a pain. Huh? It's long video. No, I used to have 6-hour class straight with just one break. And Citrix, VMware, 5-hour, 6-hour class. But there's a long things to do. So, and everyone's doing with me, so we are active till the 6th hour. Okay, so it should be popping up that option. You should have nice coffee, black coffee actually. Yeah. Okay, next, and yeah, there you go. So perform a new installation, add features to an existing instance, and we are offered both these instances, anyone at any one time, of course, in one session or in one add session we can select anyone. So if our scenario is that for the default instance we're going to add the reporting services, so I'm just selecting the default instance right now, and there's the analysis services and reporting services. So sorry. Okay, so so I'm just adding for the default instance the analysis services, and next. Then I'm going to come back, and for the next instance I'm just going to add the reporting services for that. So if that was a scenario, then we can just next, and there will be for analysis services it will still have a new service with new account. Yep. Analysis, and for the default instance. So next, and it's going to just add a current user for that, multi-dimensional and data mining mode. So that's quite advanced. Data mining has to do with business intelligence, but when we are in last few classes that we would be in a better position to understand data mining, what components are added. So for now, analysis services, click next. We want to improve this product, but we're not going to send that information. they're gonna grab our Facebook password. No, just kidding. No. Next, and install. So then as soon as it is done, I'm just going to go back again, and for the second instance I'm going to try to install the reporting services with the same way, and let's see if there's any error that pops up during that. It's just a 3-hour video anyway. So I'm just trying. I will try to add where we were trying to do some troubleshooting, where I was waiting. So it's going to come down to maybe 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Yep. It's data mining, yeah. The default, yeah. Alright, analysis services installed successfully. Close. So the scenario was, for the second instance, I was supposed to install reporting services, not the analysis services. So I'm just going to double click that again and go for the add process. It's going, and the media is still installed, mounted. Press OK. It's going to go there, check the updates from internet, then it's going to offer for which instance I want to add features, and I'm going to choose the second instance with the reporting services this time. So it's a bit quick now. It has already checked that in the previous add process. So after 12, still you have 1 hour more to practice. So already 4 hours of torture is enough, or maybe, no, not torture. It's a fun, very fun class. Yeah. So he's saying, no, please, no, enough. Oh, okay. Next. So as soon as it offers that other instance, we're just gonna add that feature. The reporting services had its own separate set of requirements. These are the two major features, analysis and reporting, and it has its own separate labs as well. Okay, next, and now add features to an existing instance, and I'm going to go for the second one, Bez instance now, and now I'm going to add the reporting services for that. And one passed. What passed? Product update, language compatibility. Okay, next. And it has its own account dedicated for this service. Next. Install only. Reporting service native mode. Yep. Installs and configures the report server in native mode. The report server is operational after setup completes. Yes. There are some interesting reporting queries as well. Next. Install. Wow. I'm so used to graphical interface. So day 2, still waiting from team left. You have the video, guys. Day 2, day 1 and 2 screenshots. Doing that right? Okay, so reporting services take a little more time than Okay, so while it is going on, oh, okay, it's nearly done. Okay, dude, it done. Move it, move it. Oops. All right, we are done with that too. So let us go. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we have added. So what's the proof that we have added those services? If I refresh here and also go to the services here, so integration services, we have here. It was in source object security. So for the default instance, oh, it's not green. Connect, it's not connected. Oh yeah, I was connected to that. Oh. I'm not connected to this. So I will try to connect to the default instance now. Well, I should have been green here. Anyone has the first instance not showing green or it's showing white as a status? It's already for you? Oh, like this? Okay. So refresh even won't do. Yeah. So just close and open. Oh, okay. SQL query.SQL. Save changes? No. Okay guys, with this video I'm gonna be right after this video, or with this video I'm gonna attach the quiz as well. So try to complete that before next class. This video has the feature, the software has a feature to include the quiz in the video. So it's going to be actually a test as well. If I am not able to do that, then I'm going to just send a separate quiz to everyone, open book one. More to do with the installations and labs, less to do with that theory. So if you have done the lab, you would be able to answer quickly. Otherwise, you will have to see the video. Oh yeah, so when I add again, all right, thanks for the tip. Normally it used to refresh. Okay, so integration services, server objects, this has added management, so there are many options there. Oh no, always on is not. So if we go to control panel now and refresh that, there is that transact. So services are added in the background, and if I go to services.msc, so there is another way to check the services as well, and there's a Microsoft recommended way of doing that. If I go back to the slide and show this, that how after adding those services, there is that services.msc way to check those services, and then there is that configuration manager from where we can check the services. So this is it. So we'll check the features, installing SQL Server integration services, Let me just go there. So SQL Server in Configuration Manager. Let's just go there, and there are two ways. Just let me show this. Services first. If we go to Run and type services.msc and see those SQL services, do we get to see the SQL services there? Here, if we go to S, would they show there? I'm on DC right now, that's why. So if we go to services.msc in the Run, if we type there that, and then go for services, so there are these services. All the services are showing here, nearly 9 or 10 services for SQL Server. There's that instance related service for base instance. If I just stop this service here, the whole instance will stop, right? If I stop this service for this instance, then there are related agent services for that. This is the analysis services which we installed for MS SQL Server, and this is the reporting services that we installed for base instance, right? So they are showing in the services.msc area already, the reporting analysis for each instance separately. But if we want to, for some reason, restart the service, maybe base instance is frozen. You're trying to connect from the management studio, it's totally frozen. You cannot connect. User connections are also frozen, and you're supposed to restart any instance, one of the instance. So Microsoft suggests that do not go from this services area to restart. Go from SQL Server Configuration Manager and do that. So where's the Configuration Manager? There's a SQL Server Management Studio. Is there a Configuration Manager at all? SQL Server Data Tools, SQL Server Configuration Manager. So SQL Server, just go for, just write configuration, you will find that. Otherwise, this is the Configuration Manager. Just press yes. So you want to restart services or refresh any of the instances from the Configuration Manager. We are supposed to do that. They also show running here, and this service goes, or this request goes through the SQL Server itself. So if I am supposed to restart just the MS SQL Server instance, I would just come here and not from the services. It might have even more bad effects, or it might badly affect any of the other components that are running with that services. Or if your application is connected to that instance, that might get affected, the connectivity to that. So there is that proper restarting of that services through Configuration Manager. So the same thing, the same service we can restart from here as well with the instance restart. I actually did the restart as well. So we can restart the whole instance and refresh all the connections for the instance from Configuration Manager and not from the services.msc directly. That's a precaution we should take. If it doesn't work from here as well, then last resort, either restart or just restart that service, restart the whole server or that service. So all the instance related services are showing here in Configuration Manager, where it properly restarts the services. And then there is that if you want to have the instance available remotely from another server, SQL Server Network Configuration, the instance setting for MS SQL, the default instance, TCP/IP is enabled, and for base instance automatically as well TCP/IP is enabled and should be enabled if you want these instances to be connected from remote computers. Then we did that in SharePoint anyway. So in SharePoint, when we installed that that Express Edition, TCP/IP was disabled, so we were not able to remotely connect. Then later we were connected. So Configuration Manager is the area from where we should be touching the services restarting and all those also for client services as well, client connections. So then there is in the slide we have another we have to confirm. Oh, there it is. So anyone knows what's the server core? Server core. Anyone installed ever server core for Windows 2008 or 2012? Command prompt, PowerShell. Do you know there's one built-in file that enables us to configure the server core? There's a built-in PowerShell file. Once you install server core, it's just command prompt and nothing. But there's a built-in file. You type that and press enter. It gives you a menu to give the IP address, give the name, basically configure the server. So anyone did that? sconfig. That's the built-in file called sconfig. If you do that, then server core you can basically configure. Otherwise, you have to remember the netshell and netdom commands, netsh and netdom commands to join it to the domain and put the IP addresses, and that's long syntax. Anyway, on server core where there's just command prompt, you can also install SQL Server. Weird, but there's that command also setup.exe/qs. qs means quiet and simple. So qs just quietly in the background installs, and the action is install features, whatever features you want to install. Then you can mention the instance name as well, MS SQL Server, and then account name as well. Here I just took an example from TechNet, and then of course the I accept SQL Server license terms /switch. If you mention that, it's going to install SQL Server with these features in core mode as well. So I wanted to try this, just to install an instance here, but it might give error. It might not give error. So if anyone wants to try this on a graphical server, just to install another instance, this is also going to be possible. But anyway, I'm just going to send this PDF as a PDF, this slide, so you could try this statement if you install server core. And server core normally is installed on some lower end, not high end servers. Okay, so one more thing left. Two things actually. So first is test connectivity. We already tested the connectivity with Management Studio. So if we install SQL Server, we did test the connectivity, but if there's troubleshooting going on, then it says that you can go for ipconfig and try to know the IP address. You go for NSLOOKUP and try to see if there's no connectivity. Then you can go for DNS name resolution. You can ping also, and there's another command prompt. In the command prompt, we can also check if we are connected with our SQL Server. There's a command, this one. So if I put it on magnifying glass, SQLCMD-s and localhost. So suppose Management Studio somehow is not working, maybe it's corrupted, and you really want to confirm right now, or you're on server core and you don't have Management Studio because it's graphical interface, right? On server core, you want to confirm from command prompt that your SQL Server is working fine. You're connecting to your SQL Server. So you need to know this SQLCMD.exe command that will make a connection. And there's a simple statement here that if you and the SQLCMD is actually present in this path. And then if once we are connected with the SQL Server, we can give the internal commands like select and space at version, and then press enter, then press go. Then it gives us the SQL Server version. So let's just try to do that. If we really want to at once, we don't want to connect through Management Studio, but we want to connect. We want to at once check with SQLCMD. Hey, are we having connection? Is this installation even okay? I saw some errors, but can I basically connect with a SQL Server? So if we don't want to check with Management Studio, which takes a little time, so we can check with SQLCMD command, SQLCMD -s, capital S. you know, we can try with smallest as well. But where is that SQL CMD? And if you just try now in command prompt, are you able to do that? SQL CMD, if you just go to command prompt on working, I think you have to go to the path, right? So I'll just, so program files, SQL Server, version 11, tools and bin, then we go do this command. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. Let's go inside the SQL Server. So I'm inside the command prompt and pressing enter, cd backslash, you know, the DOS commands. Seriously. Oh, yeah. So if we try to go to that path, dir, program file, cd, pro, press tab, autocomplete, enter, dir, SQL Server. So cd, micro, and press tab, tab, tab. Inside SQL Server, dir, okay, version 11, so cd 1110, dir, then cd tools, and then dir for cd bin. See, that was so easy. And okay, sorry. So SQL CMD is there in this path. SQLCMD.exe -s localhost. Once I'm inside, okay, even if this prompt 1 comes, I am connected with SQL Server, so connectivity is tested already. It's good, but we can still give extra, you know, command here just to check if everything else is working. But basically, we are connected if we are able to connect like this, minus localhost. Also, you can try those who have successful installation on the second server. You can try from this server sending the SQL CMD command to the second server, remote computer. So SQL CMD -s, and then the second server name and the instance name, right? So select at version, enter, then go, enter. So see this, it just shows the version number of the SQL Server, and it's Service Pack 3. Wow, Service Pack 3, latest one. So this is it. Okay, so and if anyone was writing, I can put it back. Otherwise, you're done. SQL CMD thingy, or you can try later. We have done a lot already. So one last thing is, hey, we still have 11 minutes. Come on. Oh, okay. It's too much. Too much. Give us a break, teach. Okay, so one last thing, which is just theory, is SQL IO simulator. So input-output simulator for stress test. We always do this, or we always use that to check our hardware if it's going to be to put up with our SQL Server stress test. So when we go there, so this is the link I put in the slide. You can download the 64-bit version of SQL IO Sim, which is SQL input-output simulator, and it's going to do the stress test on your SQL machine. It could so you install the SQL Server on that and then do the stress test. In fact, you could just put the path of a database, and it's going to send a lot of packets. It's going to send create a lot of traffic, and it's going to simulate that there's a huge amount of traffic, and it's going to try to outgrow this data, try to do all the tests, like if the data has too much data, how the hardware will react, how the performance counters will report. Also for many other angles, it's going to give you a very good report of that. Can this hardware really handle when there are thousands of connections and there are multiple databases there, and if you put the auto shrink will work or not. All right. Oh, okay, that was it. So okay, so SQL IOSIM, this is you could just download the 64-bit package exe file from this link, and it's mentioned in the slide, so I'm just going to, all right, Jeffrey, woohoo. Okay, so as I was saying again and again, well, anyway, this is a software that we should test. We always test, there's a stress test for Exchange Server as well. When you're about to install Exchange Server, properly, before that you do a stress test for the Exchange Server environment as well. Okay, nobody use that. So it's jet stress, but this is SQL IOSIM for SQL Server stress testing. So I would suggest that you should try that. Do try this at home. Okay, and it's 11:52. Way, we go home. Yeehaw. Oh, okay, sorry. So yes, we will be now finishing this session and stopping the video. But we still have 1 hour more, so we could just not do some more labs. Yeah. Okay. So please, screenshots, everyone, take this time.